Welcome back to Silver and Stylish. I'm Eleanor, and today we're talking about something every single one of you has asked me about at least once. You know that moment when someone stops you in the grocery store, at church, at your granddaughter's recital, and says, "Wait, where did you get that? It looks so expensive." And you get to smile just a little and say, "You would not believe how little I paid for it." That moment, that's what we're chasing today, ladies. Because here's a truth nobody tells you enough. Looking expensive has almost nothing to do with how much you spend. It has everything to do with where you spend it and how you put it together. There are brands out there, brands most women walk right past on their way to something flashier, that are quietly making pieces so well cut, so beautifully finished, they get mistaken for designer every single time. I've spent years testing this, honestly, trying things on in dressing rooms with terrible lighting, sending half of it back, learning the hard way which brands actually understand a woman over 60, our shape, our comfort, the kind of style that's earned through decades of knowing exactly who we are, not borrowed from a magazine. And I've narrowed it down to seven brands that consistently deliver that expensive look without the expensive price tag. We're counting down from 7 to 1, and I promise you, number 1 is going to surprise you. It's not the brand everyone expects. It's not even a brand in the way you think of brands. So stay with me all the way to the end, because this one changes how you'll shop for the rest of your life. Let's get into it. Let's start at number 7. This brand built its entire reputation on one simple, almost radical idea. Clothes should fit real bodies, not sample-size mannequins pulled off a runway. If you've ever bought something in your size that's still somehow gapped at the bust and pooled at the waist, you know exactly the problem I'm talking about. This brand solved it by designing around actual women, women with hips, with soft arms, with a waist that's moved a little higher or a little softer over the years, and it shows in every seam. Their fabrics have a subtle structure to them, nothing cheap, nothing flimsy, nothing that clings in places you'd rather it didn't. And their color palettes lean into rich, grown-up tones, deep burgundy, camel, ink blue, forest green, colors that read as intentional, as chosen, not just whatever was cheapest to dye that season. What makes this brand feel genuinely expensive is in the details most people never consciously notice, but absolutely feel. The tailoring around the shoulder seam, the way a hem drapes instead of just hanging straight down. So many budget brands get those two details catastrophically wrong, and it's exactly what separates "that's a nice top" from "wait, where did you get that?" My advice here is start with one piece, a blouse, a cardigan, something in one of those rich neutral tones. Wear it once with confidence and you'll understand immediately why this brand made the list. Number 6 is the brand your daughter, or maybe even your granddaughter, probably already shops, and she has absolutely no idea it works even better on you. This one specializes in what I like to call quiet luxury basics. The blazer that skims instead of boxes you in. The wide leg trouser that actually elongates the leg instead of swallowing it. The silk blend blouse that catches just enough light to look special without shouting about it. Nothing loud, nothing trying too hard. And that restraint, ladies, is exactly the secret hiding in plain sight. Here's something I've learned the hard way. Real expensive style, true expensive style, whispers. It doesn't shout. It doesn't need a giant logo across the chest to prove it belongs. The women who look the most put together, the most quietly wealthy, are almost never wearing anything with a visible brand name at all. The trick with this particular brand is knowing exactly what to buy. Skip the trendy prints, skip the seasonal colors that'll feel dated in 8 months. Go straight for the foundational pieces, the camel coat, the black tailored trouser, the cream sweater, the crisp white button-down. Layer those together, mix and rotate them, and you've quietly built yourself a capsule wardrobe that looks like it came from a boutique 3 times the price. At number 5, we've got a brand that earns its spot for one very specific, very underrated reason: fabric weight. Here's something most people never think of consciously, but their eyes register it instantly. You can always tell an expensive piece of clothing by how it moves. Cheap fabric flutters, it clings in the wrong places, it wrinkles the second you sit down, and stays that way all day. Good fabric, real quality fabric, has a little weight to it. It falls, it drapes, it skims over the body rather than sticking to it like plastic wrap. This brand invested in exactly that kind of fabric, even while keeping their price point solidly mid-range. It's not the cheapest option on the rack, but it is, without question, the smartest dollar-for-dollar value on this entire list. Their dresses in particular deserve your full attention. A single well-cut wrap dress from this brand in a solid jewel tone, think emerald, sapphire, a deep wine red, can become your single most complimented piece of the entire year. Wear it to a wedding, a dinner out, even church on Easter Sunday, and watch what happens. Nobody, and I mean nobody, will guess what you actually paid for it. That's the whole game right there. Number 4 is a brand built specifically for mature women in mind, and you can feel that intention the second you try something on. This isn't a brand that scaled down a young woman's design and called it classic fit. The necklines actually sit where a neckline should sit. The sleeves have real room in them without ballooning into something shapeless. The waistlines are placed where a waist actually falls on a woman in her 60s, 70s, or beyond, not where a 25-year-old's waist sits, which is a full design decision most brands never bother making. That thoughtfulness, that attention to how an actual mature body moves through the world, is worth more to me than any logo ever could be. Their knitwear is where this brand truly earns its place on this list. The kind of sweater that looks like cashmere, feels genuinely soft against aging skin, and, this is the important part, holds its shape wash after wash instead of stretching out and sagging by the third wear. Pair one of their sweaters with a simple gold pendant and a pair of tailored trousers, and you have a look that reads as effortlessly, expensively polished, even though you spent less on the whole outfit than most people spend on dinner. We're in the top 3 now, ladies, and number 3 might genuinely be the most underrated brand on this entire list. This one flies almost completely under the radar because it doesn't chase trends or do flashy marketing campaigns. No celebrity endorsements, no viral moments, nothing splashy. It just quietly, consistently makes excellent coats, blazers, and outerwear at a fraction of what you'd expect to pay for that level of quality. And outerwear, ladies, is exactly where expensive-looking style really lives and dies. Think about it. A coat is the very first thing anyone sees. It's the outermost layer of you, quite literally. A great coat, cut well in a rich fabric, can elevate the simplest outfit underneath it, jeans and a plain sweater even, into something that looks like it belongs strolling down a street in Paris or Milan. A cheap coat can undo an otherwise perfect outfit in one glance. If you take away just one piece of advice from this entire video, let it be this: invest your smallest, most careful dollars into one truly great coat from this brand. Wool blend, structured shoulder, a color that works with everything, camel, charcoal, black. It will outperform every single other purchase you make this year, and you will reach for it more than anything else in your closet. Number 2, we are almost at the top. This brand has become something of a hidden gem among the women who really know what they're doing with a wardrobe budget, the ones who stopped chasing trends and started chasing quality instead. Their secret weapon is texture, tweed blends, subtle jacquards, ribbed knits with real dimension to them. These are the kinds of details that photograph beautifully and read instantly as expensive, and here's why. Texture always reads as rich, even when the price tag says otherwise. A flat, plain fabric reads cheap even when it technically isn't. But texture, real, tactile texture, reads luxurious every single time, regardless of what you actually paid. Their blazers especially do serious double duty in a wardrobe. Thrown over a simple shift dress for dinner, worn open over jeans and a white tee for a casual lunch, layered over a turtleneck on a cold afternoon. This is exactly the kind of piece that becomes the quiet backbone of an entire wardrobe, the thing you reach for again and again because it simply works, every time with everything. And it costs far, far less than the elevated, put-together look it consistently delivers. If you only add one piece from today's list to your closet, let this brand's textured blazer be a strong contender. It earns its keep more than almost anything else you'll buy this year. And now, the one you've been waiting for, number 1. Here's the twist, and I told you at the very start that you would not guess it. Number 1 isn't a clothing brand at all, not in the traditional sense. Number 1 is your local high-end consignment and resale shop, the kind that carries gently used designer pieces at a fraction of what they cost brand new. Because here's the thing nobody talks about nearly enough. The single most reliable way to look expensive is to actually wear something that was expensive, just not expensive to you. Think about it this way. A genuine silk blouse from a well-known label found secondhand for the price of a fast fashion top at the mall. A structured leather handbag that would run you several $100s new, found gently loved and barely worn for a fraction of that price. These pieces already have the tailoring, the fabric quality, the tiny finishing details that budget brands spend years and years trying to imitate because they were made that way from the very beginning by people who cared about every stitch. The women who look effortlessly, quietly wealthy, the ones you see and think, she must spend a fortune on clothes. A surprising number of them are shopping resale. They figured out something the rest of us are only just now catching on to. True luxury was never about buying new. It's about buying well. It's about recognizing quality when you see it, regardless of where the hanger is. Start by finding one good consignment shop near you. Even online resale platforms work beautifully for this. Look for natural fibers, look for good stitching, real buttons, lined jackets. Trust your hands as much as your eyes. That instinct will never lie to you. So there you have it, 7 ways to build a wardrobe that looks like it cost far more than it actually did. But here's the real secret running underneath every single one of these 7 picks. It was never truly about the price tag. Not really. It's about fit. It's about fabric, it's about color and texture, and above all, it's about the confidence you carry when you walk into a room. Get those elements right, genuinely right, and it does not matter one bit where the label came from or whether there was a label at all. Now I want to hear from you. Which of these 7 are you adding to your list this week? Drop it in the comments below. I read every single one, I promise you that. And if this video helped you see your own closet just a little differently today, do me a favor. Give it a like, subscribe for more if you haven't already, and I will see you in the very next one. Stay stylish, ladies. I'll see you soon.